In this video, you'll first listen to an article. Then you'll have the opportunity to answer questions based on the articles. You can compare your answers to the ones I give you. Ready? Our world is facing an unprecedented challenge, the relentless onslaught of climate change. Each passing day brings with it a new disaster, from devastating floods to raging fires and withering heat waves. The effects of climate change are no longer distant or sporadic, they have become a part of our daily reality. This article delves into the concrete realities of these disasters, their implications, and the urgent need for action. The daily deluge of floods. Floods, once regarded as occasional natural disasters, have now become a regular occurrence in many parts of the world. Heavy rainfall events are becoming more intense, overwhelming existing infrastructure, and causing widespread destruction. Entire communities are uprooted, homes are lost, and lives are shattered. The human cost is immeasurable, and the economic burden is staggering. How can we adapt our cities and towns to better withstand these rising waters? Are we doing enough to protect vulnerable populations? Raging fires and their consequences. Fires, fueled by extreme heat and drought conditions, have grown fiercer and more destructive. Vast areas of forests, grasslands, and homes have fallen victim to the merciless flames. The impact on biodiversity is catastrophic, with countless species facing extinction. Moreover, the toxic smoke and ash emitted by these fires pose severe health risks for communities living nearby. How can we mitigate the risk of wildfires through better forest management and fire prevention strategies? How can we support affected communities in their recovery efforts? Withering heat waves and escalating temperatures. Heat waves are scorching our planet at an alarming rate, pushing temperature records to new heights. Heat-related illnesses and deaths are on the rise, particularly among the elderly and vulnerable populations. Agricultural productivity is also taking a hit as crops wither under the relentless sun. Are we prepared to handle the increasing frequency and intensity of heat waves? What steps can we take to protect public health and ensure food security? The urgent need for action. These daily disasters are not mere coincidences, they are direct consequences of human-induced climate change. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and the release of greenhouse gases are rapidly altering our planet's delicate balance. We cannot afford to be complacent. It is imperative that we shift to renewable energy sources, reduce our carbon footprint, and prioritize sustainable practices. Governments, businesses, and individuals must unite in a collective effort to combat climate change. What policy changes are needed to accelerate the transition to a low-carbon economy? How can we create a more sustainable future for generations to come? The reality of climate change is harsh and unforgiving. The daily disasters of floods, fires, and withering heat waves are constant reminders of the urgent action required to safeguard our planet and its inhabitants. We must confront the root causes of climate change and embrace sustainable solutions. The time for complacency has long passed. Let us strive for a future where our daily news is not filled with tales of destruction, but rather with stories of resilience, adaptation, and a shared commitment to preserving our precious Earth. Questions. How are floods, fires, and heat waves linked to climate change? Answer. Floods, fires, and heat waves are connected to climate change because they have become more frequent and severe due to the changes in our planet's climate system caused by human activities, such as the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. Are floods or fires more destructive in terms of their impact on communities? Answer. Both floods and fires can be highly destructive, but their impact varies depending on the specific circumstances and region. Floods can cause widespread damage to infrastructure and displace communities, while fires can devastate vast areas of land and negatively impact biodiversity. How can we mitigate the effects of heat waves on public health? Answer. To mitigate the effects of heat waves on public health, it is important to implement measures such as providing access to cool spaces, promoting hydration, and raising awareness about heat-related illnesses. Additionally, urban planning that incorporates green spaces and proper ventilation can help alleviate the intensity of heat waves in cities. Should governments prioritize renewable energy sources to combat climate change? Answer. Opinionated. Yes, governments should prioritize renewable energy sources to combat climate change. By shifting away from fossil fuels and investing in renewable energy, we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change on a global scale. What role can individuals play in tackling climate change? Answer. Individuals can play a crucial role in tackling climate change by adopting sustainable practices in their daily lives. This can include conserving energy, reducing waste, using public transportation or cycling, supporting renewable energy initiatives, and advocating for policy changes that promote environmental protection. Awesome job with this one. Now let's move on to the next article. Ready? As the scorching heat wave continues to engulf our surroundings, it's essential to equip ourselves with the knowledge to beat dehydration. In this article, we'll delve into practical tips and insights on how to stay hydrated and combat the intense heat. Let's jump right in. Hydrate like your life depends on it. When the mercury rises, there's one golden rule: drink plenty of water. Hydration is crucial, as the heat can quickly deplete our body's water reserves. Make it a habit to carry a water bottle wherever you go, and take regular sips throughout the day. Remember, by the time you feel thirsty, you're likely already dehydrated. So, let's stay one step ahead of dehydration's relentless pursuit. The power of electrolytes. While water is vital, don't underestimate the power of electrolytes. These minerals, such as sodium, potassium, and magnesium, help maintain the balance of fluids in our bodies. During a heat wave, sweating excessively can cause an electrolyte imbalance. Combat this by incorporating electrolyte-rich foods like bananas, oranges, and coconut water into your diet. You can also consider sports drinks or electrolyte supplements to replenish what's lost. Beat the heat with refreshing foods. When the sun is scorching, turn to the abundance of refreshing foods nature offers. Fresh fruits and vegetables with high water content, like watermelon, cucumber, and lettuce, can help quench your thirst and keep you cool. Additionally, try incorporating light and hydrating meals into your routine, such as salads, chilled soups, and smoothies. Your body will thank you. Timing is everything. During a heat wave, timing is of the essence. Plan your outdoor activities wisely and aim to avoid the peak heat hours, typically between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. If you must be outside during these hours, seek shade whenever possible and take regular breaks in cool areas. By being mindful of timing, you can reduce the risk of heat exhaustion and dehydration. Dress smart, stay cool. Choosing the right clothing can make a significant difference in combating the heat. Opt for lightweight, loose-fitting, and breathable fabrics like cotton or linen. Light-colored attire can also help reflect the sun's rays and keep you cooler. Don't forget to wear a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses to shield yourself from direct sunlight. It's time to put fashion on hold and prioritize comfort. Seek shelter in air-conditioned spaces. When the heat becomes unbearable, it's crucial to find refuge in air-conditioned spaces. Seek out public areas like shopping malls, libraries, or community centers that offer cool environments. If you don't have access to air conditioning at home, consider visiting public spaces during the hottest hours of the day. Your body will appreciate the temporary relief from the blistering heat. Be a good neighbor. In times of extreme weather conditions, it's essential to look out for one another. Check in on elderly neighbors, friends, or family members who may be more vulnerable to heat-related issues. Encourage them to stay hydrated and help them find cool spaces if needed. Small acts of kindness can go a long way in ensuring everyone's well-being during the hottest week. Signs of dehydration: recognize and react. Knowing the signs of dehydration is crucial for your well-being. Keep an eye out for symptoms such as excessive thirst, dry mouth, dizziness, fatigue, dark-colored urine, and muscle cramps. If you experience any of these signs, it's time to take immediate action. Find a cool place, sip on water or electrolyte drinks, and consider seeking medical attention if symptoms persist or worsen. As we wrap up, remember that beating dehydration during a heat wave requires a proactive approach. Stay hydrated, consume electrolytes, enjoy refreshing foods, and prioritize your well-being. By following these practical tips, you'll be well prepared to navigate the hottest week with confidence. Let's conquer the heat wave together and keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. Stay cool, folks. Questions. Why is drinking enough water important for our bodies? Answer: drinking enough water is important for our bodies because it helps us stay healthy and feel good. What can happen if we become dehydrated? Answer: if we become dehydrated, it means our bodies don't have enough water, and we may feel thirsty, have a dry mouth, and feel tired. Do electrolytes help balance the water in our bodies? Answer: yes, electrolytes are special minerals that help balance the water in our bodies. What are some foods that contain electrolytes? Answer: foods like bananas and oranges contain electrolytes that can help balance our body's water levels. Why is it important to take breaks and rest in the shade during hot days? Answer: Taking breaks and resting in the shade helps us feel better in the heat and prevents us from becoming too hot or exhausted. Awesome job with this one. Now let's move on to the next article. Ready? A tantalizing aroma fills the air as a batch of freshly baked cookies rests on the kitchen countertop. The anticipation builds, but when you go to grab one, you're met with an empty jar. Shocked and dismayed, you wonder, who could have stolen the cookies from the cookie jar? In this riveting investigation, we delve into the mystery, exposing the cunning thief and uncovering the truth behind this audacious act. The crime scene. Let's set the stage. The cookie jar, a treasured vessel filled with delectable treats, becomes the focal point of this enigma. Sitting innocently on the countertop, it entices both young and old with promises of sugary delights. But alas, someone's sticky fingers have left it bare, leaving behind nothing but crumbs and questions. The suspects. Our journey to catch the culprit begins with a cast of characters who could potentially be responsible for this audacious act. First, there's Mischievous Max, the mischievous neighborhood kid with a penchant for pranks. Could he be the one who succumbed to the temptation of those irresistible cookies? Then there's Clever Clara, the sly and cunning sibling who always seems to have a hidden agenda. Could her sweet tooth have driven her to commit such a brazen act? Lastly, we have Greedy Gus, the notorious food lover known for his insatiable appetite. Did his desire for a quick snack lead him down a path of cookie thievery? Unmasking the culprit. To unravel this mystery, we must meticulously examine the evidence and follow the trail of cookie crumbs. As we dig deeper, we find that Mischievous Max has an alibi for the time of the crime and a deep aversion to chocolate chip cookies. Clara, on the other hand, seems unusually calm and composed, almost as if she's hiding something. Meanwhile, Greedy Gus's crumb-covered hands and guilty expression raise suspicions. Could he be the one behind this dastardly deed? Motives and opportunities. As we scrutinize each suspect's motives and opportunities, the picture becomes clearer. Max, despite his mischievous nature, lacks a compelling reason to steal the cookies. Clara, on the other hand, has been eyeing those delectable treats for days, unable to resist their allure. She had ample opportunity, considering her familiarity with the kitchen layout and her talent for stealthy operations. But what about Gus? His voracious appetite is well known, and the allure of a cookie feast might have been too great for him to resist. Unveiling the truth. With our suspicions focused on Clara and Gus, we need solid evidence to unmask the true cookie thief. As we analyze fingerprints on the jar, we discover a match with one of the suspects. Surprisingly, it's not Clara or Gus but Mischievous Max. Our assumptions were wrong all along. Max, who detested chocolate chip cookies, reveals that his motive was not to satisfy his craving but to create a diversion, framing his innocent sibling Clara. The twist. As we confront Max with our newfound evidence, he admits his guilt, but not without revealing a surprising twist. Max explains that he was acting on behalf of Gus, who had paid him off with a bag of gummy worms. Gus, it turns out, had a secret addiction to chocolate chip cookies but lacked the skills to carry out the heist himself. Max, seizing the opportunity for mischief and personal gain, took advantage of the situation, pinning the blame on Clara. In this cookie jar caper, the truth was concealed beneath layers of deception and misdirection. We learned that appearances can be deceiving, and sometimes even the most innocent of suspects can be involved in an elaborate scheme. As we close this chapter, we must remember that in the realm of cookie theft, nothing is as it seems, and the quest for justice may lead us down unexpected paths. So next time you find your cookie jar empty, remember to look beyond the obvious and consider the motives and opportunities lurking within your own kitchen. The cookie thief may be closer than you think. Questions. Who stole the cookies from the cookie jar? Answer. Mischievous Max was initially suspected, but it was later revealed that he was framed by Greedy Gus. What evidence helped in solving the cookie jar mystery? Answer. Fingerprints found on the jar provided a crucial clue in identifying the culprit. Do you think Mischievous Max deserved to be blamed for the theft? Answer. No, Mischievous Max was innocent and was wrongly accused by Greedy Gus. What motivated Greedy Gus to steal the cookies? Answer. Greedy Gus had a strong craving for cookies but lacked the skills to carry out the theft himself, so he hired Mischievous Max to do it for him. How did the mystery of the cookie jar theft conclude? Answer. The true culprit, Greedy Gus, was exposed and brought to justice, resolving the mystery of the stolen cookies. Awesome job with this one. Now let's move on to the next article. Ready? Hold on tight because we're diving into one scorching topic today, the world's hottest week. Brace yourself for a heatwave that had us all sweating buckets and seeking refuge in the shade. This is no ordinary weather report, my friends. Get ready for a wild ride through a blistering hot week that left us all feeling like we were living on the surface of the sun. Picture this, temperatures soaring to record-breaking heights across the globe. From bustling cities to tranquil countryside, no corner of the planet was spared from the relentless heat. It was like Mother Nature cranked up the thermostat to the maximum and forgot to dial it back down. Phew! So, what caused this fiery phenomenon? Well, scientists are pointing their fingers at a mix of factors. Climate change, of course, played a significant role. The rising greenhouse gas emissions have been cooking up trouble for our planet for quite some time now. But this week took things to a whole new level. It was as if the Earth had decided to give us a not-so-subtle reminder of the consequences of our actions. Let's talk numbers. We're talking about temperatures that could fry an egg on the pavement. Thermometers were hitting mind-boggling highs, and people were left wondering if they had accidentally stumbled into a real-life sauna. It wasn't just hot, it was melt-your-face-off hot. And it wasn't just one day of scorching temperatures, it was an entire week of relentless heat. From London to Los Angeles, Delhi to Dubai, cities around the world were sweating it out. Air conditioners were working overtime, and ice cream sales skyrocketed as people desperately tried to find some relief from the sweltering heat. But even the coolest ice cream couldn't compete with the fiery breath of this heatwave. The impact of the hottest week on Earth was widespread and profound. Agriculture took a beating as crops withered under the unrelenting sun. Water scarcity became a real concern as rivers dried up, and reservoirs reached alarmingly low levels. And let's not forget about the toll it took on our bodies. Heat-related illnesses spiked, and hospitals were inundated with cases of heat exhaustion and heatstroke. This was no walk in the park, it was a battle against the elements. But amidst the sweat-soaked chaos, this hot week also raised some serious questions. Are we prepared for the future? Can we adapt to the increasing intensity and frequency of these heat waves? And most importantly, what are we doing to combat climate change and reduce our carbon footprint? It's high time we take a hard look at our actions and make meaningful changes to protect our planet and ourselves. The hottest week on Earth served as a stark reminder of the urgency of the climate crisis. It showed us that the consequences of our actions are no longer a distant threat but a scorching reality. It's time to come together as a global community and take decisive action to mitigate the impacts of climate change. We owe it to ourselves, future generations, and the planet we call home. As we bid farewell to the hottest week on record, let's reflect on the lessons learned. Let's channel our energy into sustainable solutions and push for renewable sources of power. Let's demand action from our leaders and hold them accountable for the decisions they make regarding our environment. Let's be the generation that steps up and makes a difference. The world's hottest week was not just about rising temperatures, it was a wake-up call. It reminded us that the heat is on, and we must act swiftly and decisively to cool things down. Our planet's future hangs in the balance, and it's up to us to turn down the heat and pave the way for a cooler, greener, and more sustainable world. Questions. What was the main cause of the world's hottest week? Answer. The main cause of the world's hottest week was attributed to a mix of factors, with climate change playing a significant role. How did the hottest week impact agriculture and water resources? Answer. The scorching temperatures during the hottest week caused crops to wither, impacting agriculture, and led to water scarcity as rivers dried up and reservoir levels decreased. Do you think it's important to take urgent action to address climate change? Answer. Opinion. Yes, it is crucial to take urgent action to address climate change, as highlighted by the article's emphasis on the consequences of our actions and the need to protect the planet and future generations. Can heat-related illnesses be prevented during extreme heat waves? Answer. Heat-related illnesses such as heat exhaustion and heatstroke can be prevented by taking necessary precautions, such as staying hydrated, seeking shade, and avoiding prolonged exposure to the sun during extreme heat waves. What lesson did the world's hottest week teach us about the environment? Answer. The world's hottest week served as a wake-up call about the urgent need to address the climate crisis and make sustainable choices to protect the environment for a cooler and more sustainable future. Awesome job with this one. Now let's move on to the next article. Ready? In a truly extraordinary tale that has left many bewildered, a mayor from Mexico has made headlines by marrying an unlikely partner, an alligator-like reptile he affectionately refers to as his princess girl. The unconventional love story has captivated the world, raising numerous questions about the boundaries of human-animal relationships and the nature of love itself. Mayor Antonio Rodriguez, a charismatic figure known for his eccentricities, shocked the public when he announced his intention to marry his beloved reptilian companion during a press conference. With his usual candor, he shared the intimate details of their bond and the reasons behind his decision. The mayor, in his early 50s, described his first encounter with the reptile as a life-changing experience. He stumbled upon her during a nature expedition in the heart of a lush Mexican jungle. Struck by her beauty and the deep connection he felt, he quickly developed a profound affection for the creature, which would eventually blossom into love. Rodriguez's sincerity is evident as he discusses the purity of their relationship, unaffected by societal norms or expectations. While some may dismiss it as mere eccentricity, others find themselves questioning the boundaries of human emotions and connections beyond the conventional. Critics argue that such a union defies the natural order of things and compromises the sanctity of traditional marriage. They raise concerns about the psychological well-being of the mayor and the welfare of the reptile, questioning whether it is ethically acceptable to involve animals in such relationships. However, supporters of the mayor's decision argue that love knows no bounds and that as long as the relationship is consensual and does not cause harm, it should be respected. They emphasize the importance of understanding and acceptance, urging society to broaden its perspective on what constitutes a meaningful connection. The legal aspects surrounding this unusual marriage have also sparked intense debates. Mexican law currently prohibits marriage between humans and animals, leaving the mayor's union in a legal gray area. The absence of specific legislation to address such unconventional partnerships raises important questions about the need to adapt our legal frameworks to accommodate the evolving dynamics of human relationships. Psychologists and experts in human-animal interactions have joined the discourse, offering various perspectives on the matter. Some argue that the mayor's relationship with the reptile may stem from a psychological condition known as zoophilia, which involves developing emotional or sexual attraction to animals. Others contend that it could be a manifestation of a deep-seated need for companionship and love, transcending conventional human relationships. These discussions naturally lead us to ponder the intricacies of love and its manifestations. Is love solely reserved for beings of our own species? Can we categorically define and restrict the depth of emotions one can experience? The mayor's story forces us to confront our preconceived notions and challenge the boundaries of what we deem acceptable in matters of the heart. Beyond the mayor's individual journey, this story also highlights broader societal questions. As our understanding of animals' intelligence, emotions, and consciousness deepens, how should we reevaluate our relationship with the animal kingdom? Should we redefine our moral and ethical frameworks to ensure the well-being and rights of all sentient beings? While this remarkable love story has undoubtedly sparked controversy and divided opinions, it also encourages introspection and reflection. It compels us to confront our own biases, assumptions, and limitations in comprehending the vast spectrum of human emotions. As the world watches Mayor Antonio Rodriguez and his reptilian partner embark on their unconventional journey of love, one cannot help but wonder what the future holds for them and how their story will shape our perception of love, relationships, and the very definition of humanity. In this tale of love that defies conventions, we are faced with profound questions. Can love truly transcend species? Should society embrace such unconventional relationships or draw the line at human-human connections? As we grapple with these inquiries, one thing remains certain: this extraordinary union challenges us to question our preconceived notions and redefine our understanding of love itself. Questions. What made the mayor's marriage to the reptile unusual? Answer. The mayor's marriage to the reptile was unusual because it involved a human marrying an alligator-like reptile, which is not a typical or conventional relationship. Are there people who support the mayor's decision? Answer. Yes, there are people who support the mayor's decision. They believe that love knows no boundaries and should be respected, as long as it is consensual and does not harm anyone. Is the mayor's marriage legally recognized? Answer. No, the mayor's marriage is not legally recognized because current Mexican law prohibits marriages between humans and animals. Why are there debates and discussions surrounding the mayor's marriage? Answer. There are debates and discussions surrounding the mayor's marriage because it challenges societal norms and raises questions about the boundaries of human-animal relationships and the definition of love. Should society adapt its legal frameworks to accommodate unconventional relationships? Answer. This is an opinionated question. One possible opinion is that society should adapt its legal frameworks to accommodate unconventional relationships in order to reflect changing dynamics and ensure the well-being and rights of all individuals involved. Another opinion may be that the existing legal frameworks should be maintained to uphold traditional societal norms and values. Awesome job with this one. Now let's move on to the next article. Ready? In a significant move aimed at reshaping educational environments, the Dutch government has recently implemented a ban on mobile phones in schools. With this new policy, students across the country will be required to stow away their devices during school hours, signaling a strong stance on the impact of mobile device usage on learning and well-being. The decision to ban phones in schools comes as a response to growing concerns about the distractions and negative effects that these devices can have on students' academic performance and social interactions. By enforcing this ban, the government hopes to create a focused and conducive learning environment where students can fully engage in their studies and connect with their peers. One of the primary motivations behind this ban is the recognition of how mobile phones can disrupt classroom dynamics. The constant buzzing, ringing, and screen time not only divert students' attention from the lesson at hand but also hamper the learning experience for their peers. With phones being put away, teachers will have a better chance of fostering active participation and creating a more interactive and engaging atmosphere. Moreover, the ban aims to address the issue of excessive smartphone usage among students, which has been linked to various negative consequences. Excessive screen time can lead to decreased physical activity, hindered social skills development, and even mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. By limiting phone access during school hours, the government hopes to promote healthier habits and encourage students to engage in face-to-face interactions and physical activities during breaks. While some argue that smartphones can be valuable educational tools, providing access to information and enhancing learning opportunities, the government's decision emphasizes the importance of balance. Students will still have access to school computers and other resources necessary for their academic progress. However, by temporarily removing the constant presence of personal smartphones, the ban seeks to strike a balance between utilizing technology when appropriate and minimizing its potential distractions. Implementing such a ban also raises questions about the role of personal responsibility. Should students learn to self-regulate their phone usage, or is it the government's duty to establish guidelines for their well-being? While personal responsibility is undoubtedly important, the ban acknowledges the challenges that students face in managing their device usage. It provides a clear structure and support system to help them focus on their studies without the constant temptation of social media notifications and gaming distractions. Another aspect to consider is the potential impact on student social dynamics. With phones no longer a constant presence, students may be encouraged to engage in more face-to-face conversations, fostering stronger interpersonal relationships. This ban offers an opportunity to rediscover the art of conversation, allowing students to develop essential communication skills that are increasingly vital in the digital age. However, it is also essential to acknowledge the potential challenges and pushbacks that may arise during the implementation of such a ban. Adjusting to this new policy may be difficult for students who have become heavily reliant on their phones as a source of entertainment or as a means of staying connected with friends and family. The government must work closely with schools and parents to ensure that alternative activities and communication channels are readily available to support students during this transition. Additionally, there are practical considerations to address, such as the secure storage of phones during school hours and ensuring their proper return to students at the end of the day. Schools will need to develop efficient systems for managing and safeguarding these devices to prevent loss or theft. Looking ahead, the effectiveness of this phone ban in schools will need to be carefully evaluated. Are there measurable improvements in students' academic performance, social interactions, and overall well-being? How do teachers perceive the impact of the ban on classroom dynamics and student engagement? By closely monitoring and assessing the outcomes, policymakers can make informed decisions about the future of mobile device usage in educational settings. The Dutch government's decision to implement a phone ban in schools reflects a commitment to creating an optimal learning environment for students. By temporarily removing personal smartphones from the equation, the ban aims to minimize distractions, promote healthier habits, and enhance social interactions. While challenges and adjustments are inevitable, this policy serves as a stepping stone toward striking a balance between leveraging technology for educational purposes and ensuring students' overall well-being. The impact of this ban will undoubtedly spark valuable discussions about the role of technology in education and the importance of creating focused and supportive learning spaces for our future generations. Questions. Why did the Dutch government implement the ban on mobile phones in schools? Answer: the government implemented the ban to address concerns about distractions and negative effects on students' academic performance and social interactions. What are some potential negative consequences of excessive smartphone usage among students? Answer: excessive smartphone usage can lead to decreased physical activity, hindered social skills development, and even mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. Do all teachers support the ban on phones in schools? Answer: the article does not provide specific information on whether all teachers support the ban. It mentions that teachers will be happy if students pay attention, indicating a positive perspective. How will the ban on phones impact student social interactions? Answer: the ban aims to encourage students to engage in more face-to-face conversations, fostering stronger interpersonal relationships. What is the purpose of assessing the effectiveness of the phone ban? Answer: the government will assess the outcomes of the ban to determine if it improves academic performance, social interactions, and overall well-being of students, which will guide future decisions regarding mobile device usage in schools.